So here's Sector 41. This is a game, I've got it on my charities list or whatever as to games that were sent to me. It was kind of a weird situation. This was very, very early in my video career, I guess. I don't know. It's not like I make money off of it, but I don't know what else to call what I'm doing. And I don't remember if it was, if I ordered some games and it was a freebie that was thrown in, or if I was offered it, if I paid shipping or something like that. And I was like, oh yeah, it sounds cool, whatever. I was grabbing everything at that point for whatever reason. I get the feeling that I bought games and it was, I was offered it in addition. But I don't recall for sure. It is not a complex game. You got a bunch of these tiles on the back of them, or on the front of them. There's going to be various symbols, which look kind of like this, which is the different players' home ships, which are all outlined on here. I got no idea what any of these do. I didn't read that part of the rules. I don't really want to. I want to be surprised by what I find. You got 4 players' home ships, and then their little explorers out here. And then you got some coinage here. And it comes in 3 denominations. There's like 18 of these yellow. Looks like 2 blue and 1 red. Okay. And they're worth 1, 2, and 3 points each. There's also this little thing which is hardly visible, which is the Guardian. That's protecting the whole sector. And the goal of the game is to steal the most cash. It's not. It's just this resource, a high energy resource that you're able to get. That you have. Now, I don't know what the fuck this is. It says Rules Update 1.1. The following text is in addition to the original rules. So I haven't read this yet. Well, we'll have to hit that when we get to it. The game did come with this little sheet with some variants on it. I'm not going to play any of the variants. And I am not in need of 4 rule books. You need 4 rule books because they have the cheat sheet on the back of them. So, yeah, it's kind of helpful to have, the whole rules in your hand too. Any player who wants it has it right there. You don't have to, share or whatever. So it's kind of cool there. The exception being this card, which I don't know what it does. The tiles are laid out on a 9x9 tableau, and if you're playing in 2 players, these are put opposite each other. I don't know if it holds a 3-player game. It may only be a 2 or 4 player. Huh. It says 2-2-4 here. There would be a real advantage to a player to be on their own side and not across from someone. So I don't know that that would work very well. Okay. And you're going to be exploring spaces, and these give you rules for movement and for collecting stuff and for all kind of other cool stuff that might happen to you. Again, I don't know what they are. All right. Let's take a quick look at the rules then. By the way, one of these tiles has a mark on it. I don't know what the hell's on that side. This was a completely unopened game when I got it. I opened up the little plastic wraps. This was here. All I can say is that there was some stickiness between the tiles, and I'm guessing that when I separated 2 tiles, there may have been a rip because of that, or it may have already happened in the pre-packaging or whatever. That's going to be a problem in the long run if I ever play this again. But I can kind of ink that and hope for the best. Right now, though, I just wanted to point that out in case you're looking for a copy of this wonderful game. We really don't know how it's going to be. We really don't know. It looks vaguely interesting. Okay, so the goal of the game is to get coins, which are called glinium, And there's like a history and explanation of the sector and the Glinium, which is sort of like, who cares? I mean, it's really, the game is so abstract, who cares? The Glinium collected is scored as follows: 1 point for yellow, 2 points for blue, 3 points for red, and somewhere or another we do look 3 each of red, green, blue. No, that's this. Yeah, there's only 2 blue, 1 red. Okay. Each player, starting with the starting player, and I think we'll start here and rotate counterclockwise like I usually do. It does the following 3 phases done in order. First is the Mothership phase. You choose one of these options. You either move your Mothership, you fold space, or you do nothing. I don't have to explain do nothing. That's easy enough. It's just a pass. Moving your Mothership, you're allowed to shift it up to 2 spaces left or right. Okay. Right away, things start getting weird. It's from your perspective. Okay? So you'll be moving up and down along your own side. And you must stay on your own side. You may not leave your side of the grid, but wrapping around between leftmost and rightmost columns is permitted. So, I don't know what space is. Like, if I was viewing it just from my perspective, say from here, I would say it's a big cylinder, you know? Because I can't, like, there's nothing special linking anything else. It's just from here to here is the same. But it kind of isn't, because it's a cylinder, like it's a 4-dimensional space, I think. Anyway, that's simple enough. The other thing is folding space. Okay, they go through a lot of explanations, spread the tiles apart, then shove the tiles forward with your Mothership and all kind of stuff like this. What actually happens is a tile comes from here and moves here and displaces all the other tiles 1. There's no real easy way to do this. If you cluster the tiles too close together, they're going to bump each other when you try to do it. And if you don't, you have to kind of move each tile individually. I went for the latter choice. I don't know. Okay. And then they talk about the... This is like this complex description of what I just told you. Because you have to like take your ship and shove all the tiles, and then take one of the tiles and you move your ship back and replace it. And it's like, I don't know. I see what you're trying to say, and it's just not going to work. I didn't try it, but okay. And players opposite each other on the grid may not unfold space by folding the same column the opposing player folded on their previous turn. And then there are a couple of little red marks here. These are strategy tips. Manipulate the grid and play on your own terms. Don't let the luck of initial tile placement dictate your fate. Okay. Proactively fold space and move a close tile with Glinium further away from you to prevent your opponent from folding it over to his side of the grid. That makes sense. So let's say this space has Glinium on it. Just put a marker. If I leave it there, this player can shove everything down and have it right next to them. And then I don't have a chance to move it closer. So if I move it 1 away from me, I actually gain something. I gain some protection. Okay. Anyway. The next thing you do is your Explorer's phase. You pick one of your little plastic ships and move it 1 tile in any direction, horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. When entering or leaving the Mothership, however, you cannot move diagonally in or out. However, when following the instructions, explorers are allowed to enter their Mothership diagonally. So I think if this triggers you to move diagonally, you do so, even if it enters you on the Mothership. The current player may not look at the tile to determine orientation as it is revealed. When an explorer moves onto a tile, it must immediately follow the rules for that tile. Okay. Explorer movement details. You have to move one explorer each turn if possible, and you may not stay put on your current tile as your move. Whenever a tile instructs an explorer to jump to another tile, intervening tiles are skipped and not explored or interacted with. When following tile instructions for purposes of explorer movement, your mothership is considered to be part of the grid and is treated like any other already explored face-up tile. Explorers on their mothership are considered in play. Again, we don't know what's going to happen. Maybe ships get destroyed by this. You may never move onto an opponent's mothership. Explorers are bound by the edges of the grid, and if a tile directs an explorer to make a move which would cause them to leave the grid, then the explorer does not move and the phase is over. Presuming that this is part of the grid at this point, like your mothership, but only yours. If a tile offers a choice of moves to the explorer, any options that cause the explorer to leave the grid may not be chosen. If at any time all of your remaining explorers are unable to move, then immediately remove all of your explorers from play. At the start of your explorer phase, if you have no explorers left in play, you put one in play on your mothership and move as normal. Random tile placement may cause an infinite loop to be created where an explorer cannot ever leave. In this case, the explorer is destroyed and removed from play. I don't know. So this is weird because no matter what the situation is, you can shift tiles and that should be able to rectify it. But I get the feeling that if a current configuration's in a situation that you can't leave without somebody doing a fold space, but again, it's not that specified. Any glinium being towed is left behind on one of the tiles in the loop chosen by the owner of the destroyed explorer. The loop is probably unreachable though, like without being destroyed. So, at least temporarily. When moving an explorer onto a previously explored tile, if the tile you are leaving has one or more glinium discs on it, you may choose to tow a single glinium disc along with your explorer. Unless tile instructions indicate otherwise, you may always choose to tow glinium when moving onto a previously explored tile or your own mothership. However, you can't tow it onto unexplored tiles. It would blow up or something. Anytime an explorer lands on a tile which is currently occupied by one or more enemy explorers, then all enemy explorers on that tile are immediately returned to their mothership, leaving behind any glinium they may have been towing. I think that includes the moving player, but I'm not positive. Like, if I read this way, anytime an explorer lands in which one or more enemy explorers, then all enemy explorers, reading it literally, moving into another person's space, you just destroy them all. Is that what's meant? Maybe? Well, I don't know, maybe. Combat in the asteroid belt, however, is far more dangerous, and anytime an explorer lands on an asteroid belt tile currently occupied by one or more enemy explorers, then all enemy explorers on that tile are removed from play. Again, is this from the perspective, does the attacker just win the battle no matter what by moving into the space? I don't know how to react to that. It certainly seems like it'll be a faster game if we allow people to win the battle because they won't just be neutralizing. So I think we'll go with that. That's how it's written literally, unless we find something on this card that says otherwise. All right. So, and that goes for the asteroids. You destroy all your opponents and you win. Now, the thing that confused me a little bit of it was the leaving behind any glinium they may have been towing. But it's left behind for you to pick up and tow. So that's fine. Okay, Guardian phase. This is the third phase in your move. You get to do a mothership phase, an explorer phase, then a guardian phase. The guardian, a native of the sector, is immune to all tile effects and is bound by the edges of the grid. The guardian does not affect the explorers or glirium prior to awakening, which is the final set for that. The guardian starts in the game in wandering mode and is moved by the current player as follows. In wandering mode, The Guardian is moved only if an Explorer was moved onto an unexplored tile during the Explorer phase. The Guardian is moved one tile in any direction and explores, turning face up, any unexplored tile that it is moved onto. Glinium planets receive their Glinium disks as usual, which means it can expose resources that are of value. So it's just going to move around. It's not going to do much. The quickening. When the red Glinium disk enters play, the quickening begins, and the Guardian is now moved every turn. Before, it was only moved if an Explorer moved onto an unexplored tile. The Guardian kind of goes and explores another tile, maybe. It's moved every turn. In this mode, the Guardian is moved one tile towards the closest unexplored tile, current player's choice of more than one option, and explores any unexplored tile it's moved onto. Okay. And finally, the Awakening. When all tiles have been explored, move the Guardian to the center tile again, and you don't cleanse it, and then you begin the Awakening. In this mode, the Guardian is moved one tile towards the closest uncleansed tile, current player's choice of more than one, and it cleanses the tile it moves onto by turning it face down again and removing from the game any Glinium or Explorers on it. Explorers may not enter cleansed tiles, and columns containing such tiles may not be folded anymore. So it changes the nature of the game and kind of, is sort of the race to the end. Because you may not be able to reach spaces anymore. Okay, let's take a look at what these say. The following text is in addition to the original rules. When a player has a continuous movement path from their mothership to a tile containing a single one of their own explorers, then that explorer is considered shielded by the mothership and immune to combat. Explorers may never enter a tile containing a shielded enemy explorer. Motherships can shield multiple tiles with individual explorers, but provide no shielding to any tile containing more than one explorer. Okay. Good enough. And the following text replaces the original Starbase entry. We'll worry about that when we hit the Starbase. But it looks like you get to use weapons there. I think this is going to be a fairly quick game. I'm going to do it as a quick play. Just because my videos have gotten long and whatnot. No, I don't know. I just don't want to deal with uploading, a 10-minute intro, right? That seems goofy. All right, so let me get a pipe started and we'll start playing.